welcome, students, as we prepare for another episode of DC Graduates. I'm one of your teachers, your Dr. Recommended Docentarianist, aka your nerd today, Carlos Rodriguez. And as always, I am joined by my teacher in crime, Sly. Sly, how are you?
I'm currently writing nasty comments back to the stupid people in our comment section. How are you?
Yeah. Good. Listen, man, that vocal minority is very vocal and small portion of. I'm sure they didn't find. They're not fans of Point of Progress. They just found us. You're like, oh, they're talking about Superman. This is going to be a fun time. Is that true? Yes. Are we also going to talk shit and say Lex Luthor would be a better president than what we have currently? Yes, it would be. Would it? Like, it's not going to be great. Let's not get it wrong.
It's not going to be good by any means, but it's better than where we're at now.
Like, I know he's a villain. Like, he ain't going to hide it, really. He's going to try. But we're like, you try to kill Superman a couple times, man. Come on, we know it. And again, I say this again. I said it in that episode. I'll say it again. I said it in real life. Lex Luthor is legitimately xenophobic. And we're not talking about other countries. We're literally talking about aliens. I'm pretty sure, and I swear to God, I believe this is my whole heart. This is my headcanon. Lex Luthor don't give a fuck about immigration and what we think is a crisis in America. He'd be like, no, I'm getting them jobs, man. They can help out LexCorp. There's more bodies to feed this random like reactor I got going on, man. Like, I'm gonna give them that. I'll help the family. They're gonna die, but like, I'll help their families and stuff. Like, I'll pay for their funeral or whatever. I don't give a shit. I need bodies. I need bodies. So if they're coming in the country and they need help, I got it. It doesn't matter what color they are. He's gonna pay them. He's a fair wage. He'll probably give them immigration and all this stuff. They're not great.
Honestly, Lex Luthor is like the superhero media equivalent of Henry Ford, who is like notable in extreme, like the Naziest of Nazi ever, but also paid black people the same wages.
Listen, it's strange.
Listen,
but look,
horrible piece of shit. Yes. However, treat most humans with all the same level of respect.
He's just gonna make sure there's gonna
better
be like
than somebody who hates everybody.
It's gonna be like a metal detector, but instead of a metal detector, it's gonna tell you have any alien DNA on you. Like, and that's where it's like, oh, this is like very McCarthyism and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, but legitimately we're aliens. Right. Like, just stay the fuck away from Metropolis. That's it.
Right.
You're good.
Is it giving mutant registration? Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And
we're not denying that.
And we would have the protest. We do everything we do now. But you know what? I gotta give it to him. I don't agree with it. I wouldn't agree with it in this fictional universe. But at the same time, I would truly like be like, I get it. I get why he's afraid.
We would be safe.
Yeah. I get why he's afraid. I'm not. I welcome them. But I get it.
Exactly.
For every Superman, there's a like Despero. You know, I get it. Like, you know, there's something like that. And also in canon, I mean, let's hope, you know, Dreamer's got that like little enclave where it's like hidden off to the world where all the little aliens, refugees like go. Let's do that. There's probably gonna be something like that. We support Dreamer, especially in Pride Month. Let's also talk about that. It's Pride Month.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna support.
Happy Pride, everyone. Pride Month.
Lex, he probably jerked a dude off once or twice. Don't worry about it. 100% he's done it. Anyway, that's our little Happy Pride. And as well, Lex wouldn't be a great president, but he'd be better than what we really have in real life right now. So
correct.
And it's not a high bar.
Evil megalomaniac who is competent over evil megalomaniac who's an incompetent.
Also, you know what? Head of security, like armed forces, it would be Mercy Graves. Like, that's cool. We support women.
I support women's rights.
Yeah, exactly. All right, but besides talking about this fictional,
that's not what we're here to talk about.
Yes, we're actually here to talk about the end of the DC animated movie universe, with today's episode's 2020's Justice League Dark Apokolips War. Sly, what's your history with this movie? Did you see this one before?
I saw this one. I started at 12:45 a.m. this morning.
Oof.
And then I got halfway through it, and then I finished it at 4 p.m. this evening.
Okay. Yeah. 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 I watched it Saturday for
Yeah.
the first time. I've seen this is one I sought out spoilers because of it being the end. I'm like, why are they gonna land the ship? Because I've seen a lot of the beginning, as we talked about in this season, but I didn't see a lot of the middle or end. And so
Oh, I was big into
yeah.
the beginning and the middle. I was here for it. Like the DC AMU was coming out at such a foundational time in my life. It really resonated with me. It was like my entire concept of the DC animated movie canon up until a year ago when we started doing
Yeah.
this podcast. But yeah, no, it's kind of bittersweet to see this end.
Yeah,
I'm
because
not particularly looking forward to the Tomorrowverse. We'll see how that goes.
yeah, I'm interested to see how that goes. I know we're gonna have some adaptations of some seminal Batman stories in that universe. One of my favorite actors, Jensen Ackles, is gonna be, taking over the role of Batman, which he's a fan favorite for me, live action wise, anyway, as well. Previously on our season as Jason Todd, and
Uh-huh.
Under the Red Hood, killed it in that. So I'm interested to see how he does with Batman himself. Yeah, this one is very bittersweet. I felt that like while watching it, and this is like very inspired by Endgame. You could tell, like very inspired by Avengers Endgame.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, but instead of being like, "Hey, Endgame has some hope," you know, not this one. Nope, not this one. This one is just sad all the way through, because they know they're ending this universe, like legitimately ending this universe. But yeah, this is my first time. I went and sought out spoilers, like I said. But I didn't spoil everything. I was shocked to see some stuff that happened later on at the end of this. But even the stuff I spoiled, like seeing in the context of this whole universe after watching all the movies we watched. This is what, movie 17 of this universe? 16,
Of
17?
this universe, 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this movie 16, and in this universe, like watching the 15 prior, I was like, oh, you know what? Like all the context given and seeing these spoilers, like this is actually pretty cool. Like I like it. It was still exciting, even though I knew some of the beats that were going to happen. But this one, moving on with our history class, was directed by Matt Peters and Christina Soda. No Sam Liu. Very interesting. Did
Yeah.
not direct this at all. This is written by Marjorie Scott and Ernie Outbacker. Studios always is WB
Shout out
Animation.
to Ernie Alpacker.
Yeah,
There's a lot of iconic storylines.
Yeah, he's been doing a really good job, and I adapted some pretty cool stuff. This one there's a lot of stars on this one, so I try to put everyone that was on the IMDb. We have Roger Cross, Rosario Dawson, Christopher Gorham, Camilla Luddington, Shamar Moore, Jerry O'Connell, Jason O'Mara, Matt Ryan, Sachi Alicia, actually, Stuart Allen, Ray Chase, John DiMaggio, Tyson
The
Famiga,
icon.
Liam McIntyre, sorry.
McIntyre?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tony
you're good.
Todd, rest in peace, sir. Rebecca Romaine, Hayden Welch, and Rain Wilson. And for
Got
once,
the whole gang back together.
yeah, and for once, it's actually streaming on Max. Out of all the movies in this universe,
You can't
the
watch
last
all
one.
the lead up to this,
You watch the
but
ending?
you can watch the end.
Yeah.
All right, sure,
I
whatever.
mean, technically, this leads into the Tomorrowverse, so it is also similar to Flashpoint,
Whatever.
the beginning. Slot, hit us with that plot recap.
All right. A poorly executed attack on Apokolips results in the deaths of many of DC's heroes, and Darkseid successfully conquering the Earth. Now, the remaining heroes must regroup and consider a new strategy in order to take their planet back from the intergalactic tyrant. Shout out to Raylo229 for this one.
Wasn't too bad.
Sure,
It
that
wasn't
was
too bad of
it.
a plot replay.
It did-
It's okay.
No, but that first sentence was a little rough structure-wise, but that's fine.
All right, Sly. This is a long list. Who are the comic book characters?
My boy, John Stewart, Green Lantern, your beloved Swamp Thing,
Yep.
Wonder Woman, The Flash, Zatanna, Z, we love you so much. She gets a brief moment. Cyborg, iconic. Superman, Batman, John Constantine, my beloved Lady Shiva,
as it should.
Damian as Robin, Etrigan, oof, ouch, King Shark, beloved Raven, Captain Boomerang, Darkseid, the iconic, incredible, impeccable Lois Lane in this one, Harley Quinn, also impeccable, and of course, the megalomaniac tyrant Lex Luthor, who is now officially a part of the Justice League. Boo.
Yeah, I love it. I love how he wormed his way through that. Which is a little shout out to at this comic book storylines at the time, I believe, for the Rebirth. He was part of the Justice League at that point. He saved Metropolis for something, so he got a Superman's mech suit and he started helping. He was actually pretty decent in the Justice League before, all hell with the, whatever universal thing happened where he had to betray everyone. But yeah, it's a lot of characters. There's a lot in this one. But now we are going to move on to the Andrea Romano roundup as we shout out our voice director queen. Sly, do you want to start with this last section that you highlighted?
Yes, okay. I do. Because I have a lot of feelings about Endgame as somebody who did not watch Marvel until WandaVision and then went through and watched all of Marvel. I did not like Endgame. I thought it was weak. It really felt like fan service, throwing every single character we've ever seen together in a convoluted, weak storyline. Like, they were just doing like emotional damage for emotional damage's sake. And they were trying to elicit a reaction from the audience. Which, when you build a project up so big, there's only so far you can go once you've hit intergalactic crisis, right? I get that. However, those storylines do not do it for me at all. I love grounded. I love niche. I love neighborhood storylines. I want to know every single person that's like involved in this messy drama. I really, truly love I like a grounded Spider-Man type storyline, right? Like, I really love the community feel of these storylines. I love like a Bat family where it's so deep in their relationships and their connections and what the city means to them, all those things. They really did Endgame for this movie. Yeah. They like straight up explicitly did Endgame. They pulled together like every team we had.
No hope. Like at all.
No
at
hope.
Any point.
And they murdered all of your faves. And it was gory for gore's sake. It was a bloodbath for bloodbath's sake. It wasn't really hitting the emotions. And then the part that really disillusioned me to this movie is we give Damian so much screen time for this dramatic death monologue, only to bring him back like less than 5 minutes later. Yeah. So quick. And so for cool. What? Why did he waste all that screen time on a character that's immediately going to come back and cheapens it so much? So yeah, that is to say, this is very much Endgame. They did Endgame. If that's what they were achieving, they were successful. Did I enjoy it? Not at all.
Yeah. I enjoyed it, but after a while, and I mean, it felt long. Like it's only hour 20.
It was very long.
It felt it was very emotionally draining, especially I watched it on a Saturday morning. So like like I was eating breakfast at my computer watching it, and I was like this is a lot. This is heavy, man. This is really heavy. And I'm like, I do like some depressing shit. I will watch some like depressing ass horror movies. I will watch some depressing ass like movie. Like The Mist is one of my favorite horror movies, and that ends so goddamn sad. And I get it, if it works storyline wise, but the something about this one, while I enjoyed the movie, I was just like, man, I need a break. And I did. I took a break like near the third act because I knew it was about to happen with Lois.
Yeah.
I knew that was one of the spoilers because of the fight that ensues post Lois passing away. Spoilers, obviously. If you're dude, I spoiled it. Come on.
Yeah.
Why are you watch the movie and then
It's
come here?
spoilers.
It's
Full
easy to watch
spoilers.
the movie this
I
time.
stopped like exactly halfway because I was like 45 minutes done and I had like 45 minutes left.
Yeah, I like walked away. I sat with my kids for a little bit. Like I rather have watch like Bluey, like for a little bit, which I love Bluey. But I was like, I need
Yeah,
something
we
like
love Bluey.
happy. Like I need a
Pro
break.
Bluey household. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I did like it. It does feel very inspired by Endgame, which is fine. Like I know that could be like a con for so many people, but I'm also we live in a world where comics ape each other in ways, right? We have Deathstroke, we have Deadpool, we have
Yeah.
Thanos, we
Direct
have
lines.
Darkseid, we have all
We
these
have
things.
Captain Marvel and Captain
Then
Marvel.
Marvel, yeah, exactly. We have all these things, and it's fine, it's okay. I'm basically gonna do this storyline my way. And I mean, some of my favorite storylines in DC, thinking about like really sad, depressing movies, right? Or like series. I think I told you about this before. Deceased by Tom Taylor. One
Yeah.
of my favorites.
They are coming out with a compact version in
Yes.
June, I think.
Do you
Very
one way or
excited.
another buy them? There's a compendium, I think, with all three series. It's worth it.
Mhm.
There are hope moments though in that movie. They are dealing
Yeah.
with like basically a zombie apocalypse, like across the earth with our favorite heroes getting hurt and stuff. And there's some amazing emotional beats, but at the same time, there are some emotional highs that really hit like that.
Right.
Tom Taylor knows how to balance that like really depressing. He got to tell a really depressing rated R like horror story, and at the same
Right.
time, with a lot of the tropes that come with like zombie movies, give you that emotional payoff for some things, make you cry, make you feel happy, and then tease something, like it's typical horror fashion, like
Yeah.
tease the next bad thing that's about to happen to our group of heroes.
But
Um,
such a hallmark of horror as a genre in general is those elements of hope. They're so integral to hooking your audience, to moving the plot along. Is you're invested in these characters.
mhm.
You have emotional reactions when bad things happen to them, even though you know the bad is gonna happen. You're sitting in these moments of hope with them, and that's what makes horror such a powerful medium.
Yeah, 100%. And this movie did have like a couple light moments. They were very few and far between. Like the whole
Yeah.
Suicide Squad, like Lois recruiting the Suicide Squad was great. It was I needed it
Oh
so
yeah.
bad. There was some perfectly like pure, like wholesome Clark moments in those moments. Seeing Lois all decked out in boxer stuff and like hot as hell fighting Harley Quinn, like that was
So
cool.
hot.
The jokes were great in that moment, and they felt earned, needed, and it didn't feel like too much. Now this movie's rated R for like everyone watch it. Like
Oh yeah.
they
It
go out
is
of their way to
so
earn the
graphic.
rated R. Yeah, they really do. I would have liked a couple more curse words from like the Suicide Squad members. Like Captain Boomerang has some really good
Yeah.
lines. One of them I put down here for drama class. He gets a curse like the most, I
Yeah,
would
that
say,
was
out
a
of
good one.
everyone.
We'll get
It's earned the R rating in that sense, but or Constantine or anything like that. But
Mhm.
the gore is very excessive, and like it doesn't. I'm not used to it, right? Like again, when you read something, I'm gonna use Deceased as like a very big example because that is like something that's rated R, something we've seen these heroes go through, like very traumatic, very gory things because they have the medium of
Yeah.
comic books, you know, age-rated comic books, and the fact that it's a zombie tale that you can do all these gore and stuff. It lends itself more to it.
Uh-huh.
This
Yeah, it
doesn't.
suits the tropes of the genre.
Yeah, and this doesn't really. It is very much just like Endgame is brutal. Don't get me wrong. There's some brutal shit that happens,
Yeah.
and like some of the villains that go down, they get like sliced in half. I mean, Jesus, Thor in the beginning of that movie cuts Thanos' head off. Like
Yeah.
that's brutal, but it's still
Mhm.
PG-13 and fits in the world that we set up. It
Yeah.
was hard, some of this stuff. The like most rated R thing that happens in this that I was okay with, fight wise, was a pissed off Superman gouging Darkseid's eyes out. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's rated R and that's fine. I'm okay with
And
that.
then he did the Hulk.
Dude, with
Whoop,
his hands
whoop,
still in his
whoop
eye sockets.
with the thumbs in the eye socket.
I was like, everyone keeps talking
That was
shit
another
about Clark, but this is
direct
Clark.
callback. Yeah.
Yes,
No,
he's the farm boy.
the
Yes, he's
Hulk moment
cute.
was so iconic.
So needed. And it was very funny at the same point, too. Like, at that point, it was like awesome,
Yeah.
badass, and funny at the same time. But this is a very depressing movie. This is a heavy movie. Like, this is something I will tell you not to take
Yeah.
lightly if you're watching this series with us and you're going into this movie. This is something you gotta, like, I think, mentally prepare yourself for. Like, you can't just jump. Like, this
Yeah.
is a fun romp. Like, if I ever go back to this movie,
I was not mentally prepared.
no, I would watch fights from this movie. Again, Superman, Darkseid, awesome. Trigon and Darkseid, awesome. Batman and Damian, that was awesome to watch. Like, there's a lot of cool fights, but that's it. Like, I wouldn't go back out of my way to watch this as a whole just because of how emotionally draining it is. I mean, same thing with Endgame and Infinity. Well, Endgame more so because it is dealing with the aftermath of the ending of Infinity War. But, you know, to compare that Marvel movie, like, I don't go back often to watch Endgame. It's a great movie. I absolutely love it. And I'm on the other side of the coin than you are with it. But it is very heavy.
But you had that emotional buildup. You
Yeah,
had
it's
been
true.
invested
I had
for
the 10 years.
a
Yeah.
decade. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just too much. It's still too much to watch. Like, it's a long movie, B, an emotionally draining movie. And I mean, C, when you get to the ending, it feels really happy, but like you're like, oh my God, like we got here so many people. Yeah, true. Like, so many people died. It's so sad. There's some cool moments. Again, that's when I would turn on and be like, oh yeah, let me watch, Marvel's Trinity versus, Thanos. Like, that's cool. I'll watch fights, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch the whole movie unless I'm doing like a rewatch of the whole, MCU. Which is I can't wait to do with my son, and I can't wait to when he gets emotional. Like, wait, is Iron Man dead? Like, yeah, dude, he died. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And now he's back as Doctor Doom. But
I can't wait for a sexy RDJ. Victor Von Doom. We all know how I feel about Victor Von Doom. And RDJ does not do it for me at all. However, I love me some Victor Von Doom.
This Von Doom's fucking. He fucks. This is the Von Doom.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He fucks for sure.
Yeah. 100%.
He fucks Reed Richards specifically. But
this is gonna be that's gonna be the comment that gets taken out for that we're gonna get like in 2 months when someone's watching this. We're like, wait a minute, they're not gay. We're like, all right. Watch MC University and you'll understand this. And yes, they are. That's our headcanon. But yeah, this is really good. I titled this section emotional damage. But that's what I put. It starts off sad too, and it makes you angry. We get so many of the deaths
starts
up
off
front.
with then we see all of the Teen Titans decimated. That was super graphic. Like, it just hit after hit after hit.
Yeah, and then you get like these very sad but beautiful moments. Like when you see the Titans go down and you find out that Damian went back, grabbed Dick's body, and then put it in the Lazarus pit and it drove him mad. And he's like, and Raven's like talking to him, and he's like, what did you expect? He's my brother. I cried.
He was
my
brother.
Yeah.
Is the exact line.
Oh my God.
I lost it.
And there's also the emotional damage of it, right? To see Damian fight against his destiny, fight against, Roz, Talia, Shiva, everyone that's like wants him to be part of the league. This is his destiny, and then he fulfills his destiny.
Then he ends up there.
It killed me. I was like, oh no, he is part. Like, he had to do it. He had to. It's so sad because it's so devastating to see like this character who these past 16 movies is fighting against it basically in this universe.
Everything.
Like, at every angle, he's like, I will not be like my mother.
Any ability he has to rewire his instincts to be the person his father believes he can be. Like,
and all it takes is for his dad to like basically get taken over by Darkseid. He's like, I'm done. My brother's dead. My team's dead, and I can't.
The only thing I know is running the League of Shadows, so that's what I'll do, I guess.
Dude, that was absolutely heartbreaking. And then the aspect of it too, with you don't typically see Superman fail. And it is a breath of fresh air to see, because a lot of people always criticize Superman. Oh my God, he's impervious, he's all this
Mhm.
other stuff. But like when he loses, it's not. This isn't a physical loss. I mean, it is. It
Right.
starts with a physical loss, but it's so much more emotionally devastating for Clark to then see his team get decimated, see
Mhm.
his brother Batman get taken over, and
Yeah.
then he gets his power stripped from him and has to live like a normal man.
Yeah.
Which honestly, he really doesn't care. The living as a human is not the worst part for Clark. It's just seeing
It's
at
not being
every
able to
turn they
protect the
lost.
people he loves.
Yeah, and at
Yeah.
every turn, his decision costs the planet that he loves, his adopted home. There's
Mhm.
honestly, we don't touch upon it, but there's a good chance Mom and Pop Ken are dead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they're too
There's a good
elderly for
chance
everything to happen.
60% of that world is dead,
Yeah,
like
yeah. There's like there's no hope, and he is clinging so hard to be that beacon of hope, and
Mhm.
it's you can tell it's draining Clark, but he's
Oh,
still
yeah.
at every turn is Superman, which is
Mhm.
the best part of this movie for me, is that was the hope spots. Like every time he like looked after Raven, like he went out of his way
Uh-huh.
to protect Raven, go check on
Oh,
her. Oh my
don't
God,
get
use
me
your power so
started on
much.
Raven.
Yeah, all this stuff with her, and then goes out of his way to like, all right, Constantine hates me. We gotta go to him. We need him. Okay, Damien hates me. We gotta go to him. We need him. Like he knows what they need, and he's willing to put himself out there, knowing he fucked up, and
Right.
eat crow and be like, hey, the Earth still needs you. We need one final push.
Mhm.
We gotta fight, because if we don't, what do we have? And all of them
Right.
constantly questioning, but they go along with it because it's Clark. At the end of the day, it's Clark. It's not Superman. It's Clark. Clark is
Mhm.
Superman. Superman is Clark. It is just
Right.
Clark's being like, hey, I can't do shit about this, but we could try to fight. If we die,
Mhm.
we die. If we win, then we have our planet back. That's awesome. We try to rebuild, but like we have to try.
Exactly.
It's that was like the opposite coin, the coin for the emotional side of like how sad everything was. Um, but then like 2 seconds later, of course, Batman comes in and stabs Damien in the leg. Like it's like, God damn it. This is so goddamn sad.
And, like, it just made me even more mad because we got so many really good Lois and Clark moments
Oh
in this
man.
movie, and I'm like, "We coulda had this
The whole
Lois and
time.
Clark the entire time. The whole time. We coulda had this, and you gave us"
Yeah. It, it,
anyways.
it also proves that like I don't know how people feel about Rebecca Romaine, because I feel like when she started off, obviously she was like a model and then turned
Uh-huh.
actress, and we saw that grow through the X-Men films and then moving on to like other stuff. Now she's like
Oh,
in the
yeah.
librarian, she's in Star Trek, and she like kills it. I think this proves that she could do anything, honestly. But her
Yeah.
rapport with
Definitely lots of growth, but
oh yeah, her
we've seen it.
rapport with her husband is so spot on, and they are so perfectly
Yeah.
cast as Superman and Lois in this universe. And
Uh-huh.
like shout out to Alan Tudyk, he really tried in that first movie. I think
Mhm.
in all other movies, Alan Tudyk's the goat. Like he's that dude you bring in, and he could have been like a really good Superman moving forward. But something about Jerry talking, he just felt like Superman.
Yeah.
There's a vulnerability that comes with Clark, and this also heroic nature that comes with him being Superman, and he does it really well. He doesn't really change his voice. Like we saw recently
Mhm.
with like the trailer for James Gunn's Superman with David Cornsweet, where he's like normal Clark and then he gets into his Superman voice. Like you don't see that, or you don't see that with like Tom Welling or anything like that. He just uses his regular voice. But there's a calming nature about Jerry O'Connell, and I don't know if it's because I'm a millennial and I've watched him since I was a kid, and like Sliders and
Yeah.
fucking Stand By Me and all this other shit, or I don't know if it's that, but like there's always something calming about Jerry O'Connell, and all these scenes were perfect. The beginning with him
Mhm.
on the
Very
Superman
good.
watch, talking to Lois, her feistiness was
That
so perfectly encapsulated in this. She was the
and the way,
standout
like,
character.
Cyborg like plugged into the like mech arm watch or
Oh
whatever
yeah, yeah. The show like to get Clark out of this. Like, hey, you got
uh
triangle.
to
First of all,
break that. Yeah.
that alone was also cool. Seeing a demon empowered Clark fight
Hell
darkseid
yeah.
was cool, and then get out, fight his way out of possession just
Uh-huh.
out of sheer will, and then
And love.
and
The
love.
power of
True,
love.
that's true, and loss because now you pissed off Clark.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was nice. It was nice. Um, moving on. Let's start with our second section, the new 52
Okay.
of it all, because this
Yeah.
is again, this universe starts off as basically almost like a one for one of the new 52 comics at the
Right.
time. And slowly as those comics get phased out because that line didn't do so well.
It
It's
was
not
it
it was okay.
was it burned hot and fast.
Yes, it did. Maybe too hot in some certain sections with like Wonder Woman and Superman.
Yeah.
And it was nice. There's a nice fire over on the Batman side, not so much on the Teen Titan side. You know, it was a little all over the place. This fire, it was a wildfire, but
Mhm.
it slowly starts going into what we know now as modern DC, and a lot of the things they focus on now, and not a lot of modern DC comics. We have a lot of focus on Superman again, a
Uh-huh.
lot of focus on Wonder Woman. Like the Trinity is really built up comic book wise, especially during Rebirth.
Oh, yeah.
We had those suits, which we got them again for just a little bit in the beginning, and it was so perfect to see this Justice League and then see Superman in his Rebirth suit, Wonder Woman in her armor, Batman in his
Uh-huh.
Hush suit. I was like, ah, this is the Justice League.
This
Like
is iconic. Yeah.
I do, I said it before. I do like a lot of the New 52 suits. I will say that.
Hmm.
Nightwing's is pretty good. I like the, armor look of all of them. Um,
I think it
but
might be one of my favorite Nightwing suits
the
in
red,
general.
yeah, the red is really good.
Just like the way that they drew the armor
Mm,
in relation to like when you have such an athletic and like acrobatic character, it's really hard to do really well done like more like reinforced suits.
mm-hmm,
And I just
mm-hmm.
thought like the way they designed him, he looked like a gymnast, he looked like an acrobat, but also he had like very clear like armored like protective suits
Yeah,
in that new 52 run, and I just really like the way they designed that.
yeah, I do agree with a lot of that. But it was cool to see the storyline shift. And at the end of this universe, again, we got Batman Hush, which again we have a lot of Batman in this whole universe. This whole
Yeah,
universe very Batman forward, but
it's the
we got
Batman show.
yeah, it really is. It feels very much like Hugh Jackman in the X-Men movies, which again, I like Wolverine, but by the end of that, it was like,
We
hey,
love Hugh
there are
Jackman.
other
However, there's
X-Men.
only so much we can do.
It's also called the X-Men, not Wolverine and the X-Men. You know,
Right.
Storm's right there. Cyclops is right there.
Uh-huh.
Now we're getting a little fix of that. Thank you, Kevin Feige. But it was rough back then. And that's what it felt like with this universe. Like it was very Batman forward. We talked about it. I think it was like halfway through this season. We were like, man, this is a lot of Batman. The
Yeah,
stories are good, but this is a
I
lot of
think
Batman.
right about half we were like, uh, are we gonna see anybody who's not Batman?
Oh my god. Yeah, and then we get, we talked about this last
'Cause
week at
yeah,
all too.
halfway through was Justice League Dark, where we're like, why are you here?
Anybody else? We don't need you in this movie.
Anybody else?
Technically, you're
You
only in
didn't
this.
do anything anyways.
Yeah, you do more in the comic book storyline that this is based off of than this movie. And
Yeah.
again, shout out to Jason O'Mara. And again,
Mhm.
we don't hate Batman. It's just there's so much
No,
Batman.
we
Yeah,
love Batman.
I was getting tired of Batman after a while. I was like, dude, I need something else. And at the end of this universe, you get Batman, but with Catwoman, right? We get Hush. We get that
Hmm.
seminal storyline. We get Wonder Woman Bloodlines, which is a great standalone Wonder Woman movie. It's like a pretty decent one. I wanted more. We get the death and rebirth of Superman over two
Hmm.
movies. It was fun to watch. I'm like, man, I want more of these standalone things. It's like, well,
But the
guess
like
what?
DC has good characters.
Yeah, it's almost like that, right? And good side characters to build around them, like Steel and
Uh-huh.
Superboy, Catwoman. You know, all these other
We
people.
talk about how we got like half a second of our beloved Wally West in this entire
Oh
universe.
my god! And then when it was like, "Hey, we're gonna give you a Kid Flash again," it's Wallace West. I'm like, cool. I like Wallace. Wallace is cool. He's got
Mhm.
his silver suit from like New 52 stuff, and then it's like, "Hey, we're gonna kill him off." Like, god damn it! Why put him in
God
there?
damn
Then
it.
just put Wally.
Right. Ugh.
Like, I like Wallace, but then you just
Wallace is fine. But like, just give us Wally.
just
We love Wally.
you already set him up, and if this is like that
Yeah.
bad of an event, where is Wally?
Where?
You gonna tell me
Where
Wally's
on
not
earth
gonna
is
be
he?
there?
He's showing up.
Yeah,
Unless
exactly.
it's the oh fuck. What was the place where Roy goes off and the whole
Sanctuary.
thing with the sanctuary,
Oh
thank
my
you.
god.
Yeah. Let's do the sanctuary era. Where the fuck is Wally?
They need to stop doing that. That's the worst. Right? I love that the guy who wrote it was like, "I'm sorry." It was like, "Yeah, thank you. I needed that." All
He's like,
right.
yeah, that was a myth.
Yeah. Listen, I had my own story. DC had their own story. It didn't gel well. Like, yeah,
It
we could
didn't
tell.
mesh. Yeah.
We could tell.
We could tell.
Yeah. Wally being a bad guy does not make sense, no matter how you try it. Um, but yeah, I mean that there's that, right? That's a New 52 thing, right? That's
Right.
we had all these like random storylines, and that's what this universe felt like. It felt very much so emboldened to or holding on to like the New 52 of it all. And then once DC proper let go of it, then
Uh-huh.
like this creative team got to be like, all right, we can let go too, right? It's like,
We
yeah,
can
you
do
guys
whatever the
can.
fuck we want. Yeah.
You don't have to do
Incredible.
this. You got
Yeah.
normal
Uh,
costumes, and you have a Superman with gray hair. Let's say it kind of looks like Kingdom Come, which looked badass. You can do Wonder Woman armor, and then it's like, well, what about the end? At the end, you can do whatever the fuck you want. We don't give a fuck about this universe anymore. Destroy it. I don't care.
mhm.
Wonder Woman ain't got no hands. Who cares?
Yeah, New 52 really embodies the phrase too many cooks in the kitchen
Yes, it
because
really
there are a
does.
lot of gems, and we've talked about it. There are things about New 52 that we both
Mhm.
love. There's also a lot of missing because
Yeah,
there was just too many hands, too many contributors, too many slabdash ideas thrown in there, and not enough cohesion or like concept of a plan.
yes. And then see the issue with the New 52 and the issue with DC and all, and it's not too much. I mean, I think they're smarter about it now. Is what we just got to when we're talking about this DC AMU, right? Batman.
Right.
Batman is the second most recognizable character, I think, in comic books next to Superman, because that symbol is just people know that
Yeah.
symbol more than the Christian cross, than other hateful symbols out there in the universe, that people would, put their hands out in a very weird manner, like Elon Musk. Because they
Uh-huh.
believe that shit. But like Batman is, I think, the second most recognizable character. And he is, for the most part in our lifetime, has been the most popular. Has the most. He had
Mhm.
the TV serial. He had, the Adam West show. He had the Tim Burton movies. He had,
Yeah.
the two that followed that. He had cartoons, comic books galore, toy lines, like all this stuff. And the New 52, which a lot of this universe is based off, is because of this. These guys right here.
Yeah.
These guys are awesome.
Uh-huh.
And they did an amazing book. And this book is too damn good. So they're like, hey, it worked for them. Let's do it now.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
And Court of Owls is so iconic.
yeah,
And again, how did we not get a true Court of Owls adaptation in the DCMU?
is the wildest thing of this universe. Like
It's
how
mind boggling.
so 50 New 52 centric this whole universe is until the end
Uh-huh.
is baffling that we did not get and that's like the worst movie out of them all that we've seen. That
Yeah.
is arguably the
Well,
worst
it's a
movie.
fine movie. It's a
Yeah.
horrible adaptation.
Yeah, and it's
The movie
looking at the
itself was
list.
okay.
Yeah, it's the weakest movie. I don't want to say the worst, because
Yeah,
I don't mean it's a bad movie. I just mean it's like the weakest of all the ones we out of all 16.
absolutely. Yeah.
I can safely say that's the weakest. Like I had more fun watching Suicide Squad Hell to Pay than Batman versus Robin. I had more fun watching Batman Bad Blood than Batman versus
Bad
Robin.
Blood slaps.
It is. It's really fun. It's surprisingly fun. I don't think. Also, I have a nitpick with our audience, and I don't think our audience is people like in the algorithm or whatever. I don't know how to do it audio wise, but Teen Titans: The Judas Contract is a good fucking movie.
Why is nobody watching that episode of
Why
our
is no one-
podcast? It's a
60
great
views?
episode. It's a great movie.
I
Why
would-
do y'all hate Judas Contract?
We have a really good discussion about victimhood.
We have a great discussion in that.
You
If
can
you're
literally
here
see
listening
me
to this,
fucking like come to the realization that like I was wrong about Tara this whole time. I was like, oh wait, hold on.
yeah. It's an incredible episode. If you are somehow here and you have not gotten through the entirety of Judas Contract, please stop, pause this, go back, get the view on that, and come back to this. We'll wait for you.
Yeah, we'll wait. We'll wait. Because it's worth it. We have like that has one more view than like our discussion pre-episode about you finding wrestling for the first time. And wrestling is such a divisive thing to put on. And it was like it's like DC, because I haven't done, Control or anything in a while. Right. I'm gonna start that up soon. But like it's like DC, wrestling, Judas Contract, DC. And it's like, all right, looking at it right now as a recording, Sly Discovers Wrestling, Pip Chat, 31 views. Judas Contract, DC Graduates, 32 views. Are you kidding me? That's a good ass movie and a good ass discussion. That's my problem with you guys.
Movie.
We have 166 views on a almost 3-hour podcast between me, Frank, and Feet. This is like an hour and a half of your time. You can that's half of that episode. You can watch that in that time and enjoy. And you actually watch the movie and our episode in the time we did a whole discussion about horror games and reviewed a documentary series, which that's also a good episode. Watch that as well.
It's a great episode. Go check it out.
That was my nitpick. But yeah. That's the turning point for those movies is we're like, all right, well, let's start doing other stuff in this universe. And we start doing the Judas Contract. We start establishing other aspects of what this world is and start expanding what we've been seeing with it being under the purview of a character that's, fairly new in this universe, which is Damian Wayne. And that is the plus side, I think, to this universe. To the negative of that is too much Batman is we got a good amount of Damian Wayne. He is really like the linchpin of this universe.
We got some mixed reviews on Damian Wayne.
So many people hate him. There's so many people that hate him, and I love him. He's a little asshole.
I want to love him. I hate canon him so much. Right. Like, I've seen better Damian Wayne, and it is not in canon. And that's my personal problem with him. He's great. Gotta love him. Absolute bitch ass asshole 100% of the time. We love a consistent bitch. However, we'll get to it. We'll talk about it next week.
Yes. One of my favorite comments when I was, I do the thing that every one of us does when we are on like different Discords and stuff. I post our episodes there. And for our episode of Justice League versus Teen Titans, I posted this in the PlayStation Source Discord because I'm part of that community. And shout out to Kevin Diaz for getting the IGN job. We're proud of you, buddy. I put it, and we have a younger gentleman that's in that group. He's like a teenager. His name's Freezy, and he goes, "Ain't nothing pissed me off more than DC AMU Damian." I was like, he's such a dick. As I said, he's such a dick in these. I do love him though. That was the caveat. I was like, you are correct, but I love that little bastard.
I do love him.
God damn it, I love him so much. I don't know what it is about him.
I kind of just, usually we do like a quick highlights of all our notes we took. I kind of want to just read all of my notes straight in one big chunk.
Yeah. You know what? Because our last subsection that could just be our closing thoughts on this, which is we'll discuss the impact of this universe. But go ahead. Yeah,
we'll talk about the impact. 'Cause my notes are all over the place. First of all, I lost my shit at Zatanna showing up in the first 30 seconds. Again, I did start this movie at 12:30 a.m. this morning. Did I have an alarm for 4:45? Yes.
I love that your first thought was Zatanna, my first thought was clean shaven Constantine. Like what?
Yeah, that tracks. I've started playing DC Dark Legion, the mobile game. It's not great, but it's better than the Avatar one I talked about a couple months ago. But Mara was killing it in my team, and then I got Poison Ivy, and she quickly dropped off
Yeah,
because
that makes sense.
Pam. I loved that nobody thought about Darkseid having a direct link to Cyborg when Cyborg literally enveloped Darkseid technology, but that's fine.
I didn't even think about it, to be fair.
Fair. We could have had this Clark and Lois the whole time. I'm gonna reiterate that one. I said that earlier. I can't remember what this was about, but I said, first of all, fuck John for existing. Second of all, fuck both of them for the most out-of-pocket comments ever.
It must have been at the bar.
Probably.
Right? It has to be when he
People
was like
were saying some out-of-pocket shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Etrigan made me so sad. He was so depressed.
Oh, he was
Don't
already
do that to my boy.
I love that he even says it. He was like, he lost a friend. That he's been like that since he lost his friend. I'm like, wait. This is not because the world's ending. This is because he lost Jason Blood. Fuck you. That's sad. God damn it.
Devastating. I once again fell for the thinking that Lady Shiva was Talia because I keep forgetting she's dead or whatever. They're trying to convince me.
Was the only bad bitch that Bruce doesn't want to fuck, so.
Valid. I mean, it's because she like emotionally abused and manipulated her child that Bruce then goes on to adopt and rehabilitate.
That crossed the line there.
I did get hot Damien. That baby boy is so tall now.
I know,
and he's killing it. Good for him. Raven was talking about her father. We're talking about a boy, and I was like, which boy? Gar? Because that's of course who my first thought of romance with Raven was. And then like 30 minutes later I came back and wrote all caps Damien with the skull of and then oh shit, Corey got brutally fucking murdered. Ouch. Then he was my brother. Those two back to back killed me. I couldn't tell if it was my screen or the animation, but the hair in this movie looked like trash. It was so bad. It was like so egregious. All the shading was like blood. It was bad.
It was like almost like non-existent. Like
yeah. Hot boxer Lois.
And she beat Harley Quinn, who's a great fighter.
And she beats Harley. And in that same fight, we get the iconic line, "No one outbrats me." We love girls supporting girls.
Oh,
they were iconic. That scene was perfect.
That's also a confirmation that like Harley is brats. She's the brat to Pam's like dumb.
Absolutely. Brat tamer. Yeah, exactly. That same exact scene, we get canonical King Shark / John Constantine. The wink.
Yeah.
Lost it.
I put that in our quote.
The movie for me.
I put that in our quote.
We'll get there. Who the fuck is the new Batman? We'll find out. Damien was doing something stupid, and I was like, honestly, I get it. I also have a massive crush on Raven. I think this was Lois. Don't rub it in, honey.
That's Clark talking about two Lois, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, iconic. Boom Tube is still such a silly name for them. It did crack me up. And then we got the callback, all caps. Is Kate the new Batman? Because her and Babs, damn.
They were killing it. And then they died.
And then I immediately paused and went to bed. And then I resumed to Jon Stewart doing his thing, reciting his monologue as he dies.
Dude, I was hoping he was gonna get like he was gonna be like Ion or some shit. Like
I was really hoping we got a really crunchy,
Mhm.
celery crack for Kilowog's neck being snapped.
Fucking
Ouch,
devastated
that
me.
one hurt me personally. Corey that and all the Teen Titans came back as the cyborg versions of themselves, and Corey specifically looked very hot in her cyborg form. I'ma own it. That was a great look on her. And then I said, "Oh shit, we're fully committing to the date rape origins."
Dude, that
They
was
went there.
wild.
I
That
was
was
like, that
wild. I was
shit's
like,
out
oh,
of
we
pocket.
talking about this? We talking about this?
It may be true, but don't say that to your child. I get you're being mind controlled, but still. I'm glad
Man, I
we're
was
talking
oof.
about it though, cause damn.
They allude to it like in that first movie, and then like he's still flirtatious
Mhm.
with her, even though like
Yeah, we
he's
talked about
admitting,
it. We were like, wow, they're really alluding to
yeah. And he straight up was
these
like, she
origins,
drugged
and
me.
then
I
we
didn't
get
want to
it
do that.
straight up. Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
And then we got to the point where I was like, okay, this is getting excessive. This is gore for gore's sake. It's not even good action. They're just like decimating all your faves for no reason.
Yeah, it's funny because like Lex, who's a big character, obviously, does not get like an
Uh-huh.
emotional send off or like
He gets
an
an
impactful death.
off-screen death.
You know who gets an emotional fucking send off though? King fucking Shark.
Hang Shark deserved it,
Yeah, he did.
as
He was
he
awesome.
should.
That's the
And
line I
then we
put in there.
killed off Damien
Yes.
just to bring him and company back. All right.
Hey, we got White
However,
Raven out of it. Yeah, I was gonna say.
we got White Raven out of it. I'll forgive any bullshit if you give me White
Yeah.
Raven suit. I do love Damien, as we've established, and I do love Raven. But their romance is Damie John erasure, and I will not stand for it. Damian Wayne and Jonathan Kent are Endgame. They are the OTT. Love them so much. And then we were right to the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly. Yeah, for me, I'm trying
R.I.P.
to think of some of like big that popped up. Oh, the Titan team. I said that was wild. So we have
Yeah.
Blue Beetle, we have Roy, Bumblebee, Starfire.
Speedy Roy.
Yeah, Speedy Roy, which is wild. Like you're not gonna make him Arsenal?
Wild.
No.
No.
Uh Starfire, Nightwing, Superboy, Wallace, Kid Flash. We have Raven, Damien. I was like all tall now. How cute. Donna, Troy, and Beast Boy. Like, damn.
Donna. Icon.
Superman scared the shit out of Lex. I thought that was cool when he like slammed he broke like the thing and
Hell
he
yeah.
backed up. I was like, we finally got a booyah.
Yes.
Pair
And it was a
doomsdays are
good one.
wild. That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
And then yeah, damn, we're endgame in it 2 years later. Earth is in ruins. Like Jesus Christ. I was like, the gray looks good on Clark. It does. It
Oh
really
yeah.
does.
I did love the gray on him.
I was like, guys, I love how no matter what Clark's situation is, he will be Superman and he will care for people.
Yeah. Absolutely. I also loved the green accents on everything, especially when we get to the like end of the third act where all the weapons and
all the kryptonite weapons.
all
yeah.
the green
It's
was
so much.
so
Lex hat
pretty.
was like overloaded with kryptonite shit.
It's Lex Luthor. What do you
Yeah.
expect?
That was nuts. What did I put here? Oh, it was oh man, poor Billy. He probably just turned, he's barely 18 and he died so brutally. I was like, oh good, he's alive. But he missed his leg, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Diana loses her arm. I said this is the most brutal version of Darkseid we've ever seen, which obviously is rated R for a reason. Constantine being like, why did I run? I'm like, because you're a coward, not knowing that they were about to retcon it at the end, being like, I made you run. I was like, listen, Ted, I understand that at this last moment, you're going to tell him.
Just let him be a fucking coward.
This man drank himself silly almost to death for 2 years because he thought he was a bitch. And it turns out
and he
actually was going to fight. And you were like, nah, I love this man. You need to run. And you'll remember this in 2 years. Like, why did you make me go through all that for 2 years? My liver is done. Like, You could have waited a year at least. Be like, hey, by the way, I made you leave. Oh, okay, I feel better. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, ooh, Nanda Parbat. That was cool. Titus, I like that Titus was
That was
there
great.
with the league.
Love Titus. Every time Titus shows up, we're happy.
Yeah. I was like, oh, poor Danny, he saw a dick die in front of him. That was Lois versus Harley. Let's fucking go. Clark yelling, "Do your best, honey."
That was so
Yeah.
beautiful.
I thought I had the quote here, but the quote from Constantine was, "Oh no." He was like, "Oh shit, my ex is here," and Raven going, "Oh, gross. You hooked up with Harley Quinn." He's like, "No, I'm not that crazy." And then King Shark winks at him. I was like, "Holy fuck."
Yeah. I ship it.
Yeah. Yeah. When Damien and Raven they wouldn't kiss, they just held it like, kiss her. Just fucking kiss her. Jesus. I like this line from Captain Boomerang against, because they had like they were yelling at it with that is in quiz time. Warm beer and soggy chips is what he called Constantine, which I was like, that's gross.
Accurate.
I was like, ooh, Connor's still alive, and then he dies. Like so many of us. I did say this though. I thought this was cool. Each team felt like an established unit. So we had Shazam, Steel, and Connor, and then on the other side was Batwing, Batgirl, and Batwoman, which all three of them.
Yeah.
Died. All right, all six of them die. Swamp Thing was cool, and I just love that they continued how much he hates.
Was incredible.
Fucking John, no matter what.
Constantine.
Sheba getting shot in the face. I was shocked, and then I was like, she kind of deserves it.
She deserved it. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I love this is point. I like this movie, but goddamn, this is depressing. That's when I was starting. I had to walk away. Kryptonite teeth. I thought that was cool. King Shark had kryptonite teeth.
Yeah, with King Shark. Yeah, so good.
Techno magic. That was fucking cool. That was a cool little thing they added there. The Bruce beat the fuck out of Damien. And then got the fucking fucked up Darkseid's eye. Trigon Power Superman, which we talked about. This went from bad to worse. So Trigon versus Darkseid is wild. I was like, damn right, Superman can beat Trigon. I was like, wow, fuck, Clark is not playing around. And that's literally when he gouges his eyes and uses his fucking eye holes to hold on to Darkseid and just Hulk smash him back.
Yeah.
And then to show how badass Darkseid is, he's like still gets up and fights. I was like, Jesus Christ. White Raven, which we love. I was like, holy fuck, Batman hugging Damien, I teared up. That's why I teared up.
A good moment.
Cyborg's final line, suck it bitches. That was cool.
Yeah.
I was like, this is really interesting. It started with Flash running, and now it's ending with Flash and Flash running, and I put run, Barry, run. That's how
run, Barry, run. Barry, run away. Nobody's gonna get that reference. It was for me and me alone.
Yeah, I was like, that's a very niche reference.
There's a song called Run, Freedom, Run from the musical Urinetown. It's very good and very funny. But when I saw that in your notes, I was like, run, Barry, run. Barry, run away. Every time.
That's all he does, man, in this universe. Yeah, that's it. That's the end. That's our notes, man, for Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Now we're gonna move on to drama class, which is again one of my favorite sections. We got some really funny ones, and we got two funny ones and one sad one. Which one do you want to do first?
I think we could just go in order. Get the funny ones, so then we can end on the emotional.
Okay. Do you want to be King Shark or Captain Boomerang?
Yes, I do. I do want to be King Shark. Thank you for asking.
I love this so much.
King Shark is a shark. King Shark is a shark. King Shark is a shark.
And Captain Boomerang is a boomerang, you fuck knuckle.
It has been an honor to fight by your side.
Are you shitting me? That's like how Captain Boomerang dies. He dies knowing that fucking King Shark can actually talk, and no one is gonna know this. Everyone else is dead.
No.
God. That's so. I felt like King Shark did that shit on purpose. He's like,
Oh,
I'm just gonna fuck with you
absolutely.
one way.
Literally today at work, I was like, I wish I never had to speak English ever again.
Just King Shark your way through it, through life.
Yeah, this king shark is a
Yeah.
shark. So I respond to everybody when they ask me a question I don't know the answer to.
I love that King Shark, no matter the adaptation, is done so well. Like whether it was Sylvester
Oh
Stallone
yeah.
and James Gunn's Suicide Squad, whether it's this and then the final funny line at the end, or if it's Ron Funches, which is that one clip always stands out to me, and then the Harley Quinn show where it's like, if I don't stop playing video games, I start thinking. If I start thinking, I go crazy. You don't want me to go crazy. I was like, man, that's relatable. Relatable. Next we got Constantine and Captain Boomerang, which I fucking love this. And they're talking about the fight between Lois and Harley. Who do you want to be?
I could do Captain Boomerang this time if you want.
All right, I'll do Constantine and Superman.
Cool.
All right. Breaker Face, Clark's wife.
Ugh, Brits.
Aussies.
Bombs.
Convicts. Captain Boom. Yeah, wankers. Do your best, honey. I fucking love it. I also like what a deep that would be something that he would say is call fucking Aussies convicts. Like it's such a he would feel so emboldened to be like fucking
iconic.
convict. Like dude, that's like hundreds
First
of
of
years
all,
ago.
he is literally on the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Second of all, it's literal history.
Yeah. That's like I've met a couple people from Spain and they're so nice. They're so nice and they're lovely people and all this stuff. But in the back of my brain, the Taino is still there. Yeah. And it's like fucking colonizer. What's up?
Yeah, they colonized.
Think about that whole fucking part of the world. I'm like fucking colonizers. Look what you did to us.
Yeah.
It's like that was hundreds of years ago. And
look what you specifically did.
Yeah. Look what you motherfucker did. We don't even have a queen anymore. Shut up. You know what you did. Fucking colonizer. Shout out to our Spain fans out there. We actually do love you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the blood inside of me that can't help it. It just comes out. I call it the Migdalia effect.
I will absolutely roast every opportunity I can Alexander Graham Bell, and it's just the Deafy in me. Can't resist.
Yep.
Horrible piece of shit.
Talking shit about Edison, we just talk shit about these. We have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and then finally we have the emotional final lines of the movie. Do you want to be Flash? And I'll be Constantine?
Up to you. I don't care either way.
Yeah, I'll be Constantine. I know how much you love that mediocre white man. Another comment that we had in one of our past episodes.
I do love a mediocre white man.
But I'll be Constantine. I'll be. You know what you have to do, mate. Clear the board. Start again.
Another flashpoint. I promised Iris before she... I can't.
Yeah, I figured you'd say that.
Everything will change. Again.
And some of those changes may be shite. And we may make the same mistakes again. It won't be perfect. We'll be long sight better than we got now.
Real.
Like deep ass conversation from John Constantine of all people.
That motherfucker.
A mediocre white
literally.
I hope that guy comments again on this episode. He's like, God damn it. Stop talking shit about Constantine. We can I like Constantine and talk shit about him at the same time. Okay. Free world. It's also my podcast, so go fuck yourself.
Yeah. We could block you. That's fine.
Make your own podcast where you just constantly talk praise about John Constantine.
Exactly.
All right, so we're wrapping up this episode and season with Homeroom. We give final thoughts, or we can kind of touch upon what I taught you earlier, and the DCAMU. So the impact of this universe within I guess entertainment. I
Hmm.
think it really ushered in a new era for Warner Bros. Animation in general. Um, I think them constantly putting out a movie every once in a while like this, the way they had.
Like every
Um,
year.
yeah, it really they had a good pipeline. For the most part, this universe, other than the Batman of it all, is really I think pretty well done. I think
And the
all things
Batman
considered.
was good. It was
Yeah, it was just
just
a lot.
excessive.
And
Yeah.
that's the only issue. But this is also a studio that, because of some of the rated R adaptations they had here, and sadly, funny enough, I think because of some of the rated R aspects of the Snyderverse and bringing that and
Hmm.
like seeing that, oh, we can kind of do that. We financially we can do that and not like really get scared. Um, they felt a little more emboldened with the WB animation to kind of push the envelope. This one's a little excessive. I agree with you. But
Hmm.
WB Animation then got to do some other cool stuff that we're not covering here because it's not DC related. But there's a shitload of there's like a good 3 or 4 like Mortal Kombat movies, animated movies, and like
Hmm.
that's insane to me. That like one of my favorite
Yeah.
video game IPs had, and because it's under the Warner Brothers part of the umbrella, like they were able to be like, wait, we could do cross media stuff, and it doesn't have to be like it's tied into Mortal Kombat 1 or Mortal Kombat 11,
Right.
or whatever you're playing. It could just be its own standalone thing that like we have fun. We can make us like a 2-part Scorpion Sub-Zero movie that you see both angles, or we could do. I It baffles my mind. I haven't seen this yet. And this is a DC podcast, not a Mortal Kombat podcast, but there's a whole Johnny Cage centric WB animated rated R grindhouse style movie starring Joel McHale as Johnny Cage. The fact that I haven't seen this, the shit's on Max. I see it all the time, like in my list. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I should probably watch it. No, I gotta watch more One
You
Piece
should
or
watch
this.
it.
I should. If Brianna's listened to it, I can't. Legally, my work wife said I cannot. I have to focus on this show, playing video games for our podcast, or One Piece. That is it. Because every day,
Hmm.
as almost like a real life, I get a lot of shit for it as a significant other.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
I feel like I get more shit from the work spouses than
Yeah,
any
Tara's pretty
potential.
chill. Yeah, as long as you don't really bother
Yeah.
her and she gets to read her book, she doesn't really care what I do. When she wants to watch something,
Right.
that's when it's like, hey, what do you want to watch? Because I'm in the mood for all
Right.
of these. And it's never hard. That's beside
Hmm.
me. Work wife, way more tricky to like
More
maneuver.
picky.
Like, yeah, a little more picky. A little more picky. That's only because she has no one to talk to.
It's fine.
And
Right. You
she's
gotta have a
caught up with One
balance in your
Piece.
life too.
She's 200 episodes ahead of me. I'm saying all this because she's not listening to this podcast, and it's hilarious. So no repercussions are going to happen for me at work. This is great. Or
Mhm.
maybe she listens
Exactly.
and I don't get that one coffee, which sucks. We'll see in a couple
Yeah.
weeks.
I
But
don't know
yeah,
what the impact of this universe was on the general zeitgeist, but I know what the impact of the DCAMU was on me personally.
yeah,
And this was really a return to something that I loved so dearly as a child. Like I remember, watching JLU and playing with those era action figures and
love it.
and having such a tie to we've mentioned a million times, like the Batman 2004. Like I loved DC animated projects. And then as I was starting to, being able to shape and choose my own media consumption in a real way for the first time, we were in this era of I wasn't watching Marvel movies because they just didn't interest or click with me at the time. And all of the DC live action movies were trash. Like they were not good or they didn't resonate with me personally. And so when I was wanting so desperately to connect with others with common interests and appreciate this universe that was so dear to me as a child, I had these absolute fucking bangers of animated movies to like satiate and fill that gap. And I really genuinely think that DC as a franchise would not have survived the mid 2010s as well as it did without the DC AMU being this giant beacon of hope in this entire franchise. Like,
Yeah.
this was the guiding light. Comics, are always going to be a bit of a fickle industry. It's ever changing, ever adapting. That you have your diehards, but there's not a lot of growth room in that industry in general. But there's huge room for growth in movies specifically.
Mm.
Like, TV shows can be a little hit or miss. You have to have so much investment to catch it, hook into like the latest thing. But they really developed 16 movies worth, and I'll even lump in Tomorrowverse because it's very, very similar. So like, what 23 movies worth of an interconnected universe that all can, for the most part, stand on their own. You don't need any background to watch Death of Superman.
Yeah.
You might for Reign of the Superman, but still. You can hop into Batman Bad Blood with no prior context. And so to be able to take so many movies and keep each movie in the universe digestible, bite-sized, tell a cohesive story in a contained unit, that is the antithesis of what Marvel was doing at the time. Marvel had gotten to the point where you had to know what was going on to follow any of the movies they were releasing at that time.
Yeah.
Like, God forbid a child wanted to go see a movie with all of their friends and got stuck in an auditorium watching Age of Ultron with no context.
Yeah. Who's this guy? Who's that guy? Who's that? Like, it's so.
Oh, and they're
You're right.
dead. Like,
Yeah. And this, I will say with the DC AMU as well as the live action TV portion, they are the thing that constantly gets overlooked when it comes to talking about DC properties, whether it be,
oh
I
yeah,
think,
we haven't even talked about the Arrowverse
yeah,
nearly enough.
exactly. And there's just, they were really, for better or worse, for the most part, we're keeping these characters in the zeitgeist, bringing new characters in, bringing new fans into a
Making
universe
them
that,
relevant
yeah,
to an entirely different audience. Like, we're talking like iconic traditional network television
yeah,
in the
yeah,
form of multiple DC superhero properties.
yeah. And like, yeah, for a lot of those series may have overstayed its welcome, and some of them may have not gone, you know, as long as we would want. Like Legends of Tomorrow doesn't have like
Right.
as long as like Flash or Arrow, and you take the good with the bad. It's something about
Mhm.
DC television has always been really picking up slack when it comes
Yeah.
to movies and anything like that. And then you put the animated aspect to it, going back to season one and talking about like the impact that the Diniverse has. You know, those shows were doing so much of the heavy lifting. And then you get the movies based on those series, those shows, and then it starts DC gets emboldened, like, hey, all right, we're doing this live action TV thing. It's doing really well. We have the
Mhm.
Zack Snyder verse that's really kicking off. It's making us money critically, maybe
Making
not so
money, but
much.
people hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what's the next aspect? Well, we know that animation and we do really well in it. So let's continue. And
Mhm.
we've been very lucky to have so many animated movies, so many animated television series. Um, and it's still a thing that DC relies on. And it's
And
smart.
so many of the creators that they pulled in
Yeah.
for this animated movie universe
Yeah.
were or are comic book writers. They're intimately familiar with the source material and the tropes of that genre, and you pair them with a really strong movie director, and they can adapt these ideas into a completely different medium in a way that resonates really well.
Yeah. And I do like now you know, obviously we always talk about David Zaslav of it. If we can, we didn't say it this episode yet,
Mhm.
but still, fuck David Zaslav. There are good decisions he makes in the fact that, you know, he's hired James Gunn to now oversee, and you could
Uh-huh.
tell with this movie now going into the Tomorrowverse, and we haven't seen the Tomorrowverse, so we can't speak to that universe yet. And like
Yeah.
a lot of the
We're both
decisions they
going
make,
into that
like
completely fresh, right?
exactly, yeah, I've never seen an iota of it. I've seen maybe a clip or two, but that's it. That's
Right.
something that's on DC Social. Um,
Mhm.
Going into that universe, I can't tell, but with this one near the end, you can tell there's a lot of corporate oversight, and that's the
Yeah.
issue that Warner Brothers has all around, whether it becomes to their game studio. You know, we do talk about video
Oh
games a lot
yeah.
on Point of Progress as well, like the Warner Brothers game studio aspect of it. You
Suicide
know,
Squad is on sale on PlayStation right now.
pretty sure I own it on Epic, and I played the alpha with Mario.
It was $7. I almost debated.
$7 too much. How about that? Uh, for a retcon that's done in comic panels and not like actual like CGI footage. That again, I'm sorry, Rocksteady, you
Yeah.
guys deserve better. But you know, you could tell the corporate oversight of it all. Like it's starting to permeate into this universe, and I mean, you could tell like, all right, this universe hasn't hit like out of the park. Like we enjoyed it, but you could I know
Mhm.
commercially, I don't think this did that well. So okay, we're gonna reboot it because we're DC. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We reboot things when they don't go well. There's another crisis event. Let's just do it again. So we're rebooting it. We're gonna make the Tomorrowverse, and we're gonna do another shared universe again. Okay, but why? Do we have to? And of
Uh-huh.
course, at least you give them the creative freedom to do whatever they want. And they made a very depressing movie that I enjoy, but it is heavy. You know, it's they were like throw everything at the wall in this movie, and they did. And you know, it to varying degrees. But the corporate oversight is the biggest issue that Warner Brothers has in general. So I do and am hopeful. We talked about this Creature Commandos with James Gunn
Mhm.
overseeing all of DC properties in general, whether it be video games, movies, you know, and TV and animation. You know, I do
Mhm.
like that we have this like set focus. And now, similar to what we know in the Tomorrowverse, we know that universe is ending or has ended already
Mhm.
as of the time of recording, and something new will pop up of this. I know not everything's gonna be tied into his DC universe, which if he's smart, you don't do everything. You know, yes, you have a Creature Commandos because
Mhm.
you could tell a story in an animated fashion and still had these characters in the zeitgeist,
Right.
and maybe they pop up again. The whole point is you see Frankenstein. Oh, I'm sorry, the bride, because we love her. You see the bride.
Mhm.
You see, you know, all these other characters within uh this animated universe, you know, the animated show. They could pop up in live action. We know for a fact that we're getting a Blue Beetle show animated series down the
Right.
line. Hasn't we haven't seen anything for it. It's been talked about a lot, but that is going to continue Jaime's story from the live action film. And then, hey, at least we get more Blue Beetle, right? Is it animated? Are people going to see it? I hope so. I hope that
Mhm.
you have,
We love Blue Beetle.
dude, we love him so much. He was great in this universe, and it's great to
Yeah.
see, you know, Sholo do his thing in live action. Now he gets to do it in animated form and continue his run as that character. But animation is really where it's at, and that's the whole point of the series, right? That's why we do
Yep.
DC Graduates to tell you that, hey, you know, we don't know how Superman is going to land. It's coming out next month,
Mhm.
right? It comes out July, as recording is June.
Yeah. I meant to book my tickets, but I still haven't.
I'll get there. Don't worry. uh, but we know that it's coming out in a month. We don't know how this universe is properly going to start. We talked about Creature Commandos. It is hit or miss for many people. It's a it's I don't think it's the best foot forward when you're starting a new universe,
Right.
but and not the animation
Mhm.
aspect of it is just the content of it all. But
Right. Exactly.
so many people are weary about animation for whatever reason, and I know people personally that just they can't wrap their heads around it. Like something about animated movies is just it doesn't speak to them, and it's a shame. And I'm not belittling them. I'm not talking shit about them. I think it's just
Mhm.
it is very unfortunate when you have so many like this medium that is very ripe for keeping budgets low,
Mhm.
being able to do bombastic things, and like there's no way
Right.
this movie would have been live action. Can you imagine how much this movie
Mhm.
would have cost if it was live action?
Yeah. And like animation can be expensive
Yeah,
if you're trying to do it rushed and fast and you're taxing your teams. But also, if you're willing to take a couple years, it can be very cheap.
yeah,
Like, of course, pay your artists, pay your workers, pay a fair living wage,
hmm
100%. But comparatively, animation can be done for relatively cheap. Again, especially if you're not making them cram, making them rush, if you're not paying ridiculous overtime to meet an
yeah,
unrealistic deadline. Like, if you let people have the time to make their art and make it well, it will A, make you more money, and B, save you in production costs.
yeah, 100%. And then you get something better in the long run, and you get people talking about it.
Yeah.
Um, I know for a fact, especially in this era of streaming and with so many studios not backing up streaming the way they initially talked about it. With Disney
Right.
Pluses, we're gonna slow down on Marvel TV shows and things like that. With Max, again, how
Mm-hmm.
many of these episodes start with where can you find this movie? Fuck if I know. The fact that this one's on there is astounding because it's the
Uh-huh.
end
I
of a
think
whole
most of the
series.
Tomorrow First is, so it's like
Thank
setting
God.
up that. But still, nothing leading up to this movie is
Yeah,
accessible anywhere streaming.
yeah. And it's so frustrating when you see like these decisions made. It's like, listen, I don't know what it is financially that you don't get. Like, well, I don't know how
Mhm.
much money you're saving by whatever reason offloading Looney Tunes off your platform,
Right.
and then just not where can I find it? Oh, you watch like regular television, Me TV Tunes, which we talked about off air. Shout out to them because they're
Uh-huh.
keeping that
Shut
zeitgeist
up.
awake. But like, I would love to go to one place and be able to find all these movies like you promised me in the initial go. And that's my
Mhm.
only worry when going into the streaming era of like TV shows and things like that. So many of the, series now too are, hey, at least with HBO, right? We have this series. Um, if it's not at the same time that like it's playing, like it's not something huge like Last of Us or Game of Thrones or anything like that. Hey, you watch it either on regular TV this day, and then the next day you can watch it on Max.
Mhm.
That is cool, but like, are you going to support
It's a
that moving
great
forward?
model
Yeah,
because that's what Hulu does, and they're wildly successful with it.
exactly. And I think if you want people to have eyes on something like, I haven't mentioned actually this scene, I don't think, but I do love this series. I've mentioned it before. My Adventures with Superman, starring Jack
Right.
Quaid. If they do that, like, hey, it's on Adult Swim Sunday night at like 10, but next day on Max. Like, cool. That
Mhm.
now I know someone that doesn't have the time to watch traditional television at that time. Maybe I'm getting tired because I gotta wake up butt ass early for work the next day and all this other shit. I know, hey, when I get to work and I'm having lunch, I can watch this episode.
Mhm.
At my own
Right.
leisurely time, or when I get home, I can watch it on Max and having like a set place for it. And I don't know how they see those numbers. Like I hope that with Gunn under Zaslav again, so much freedom. I hope that he could tell Zaslav like, dude, look at these numbers. Look how much
Yeah.
money we're making and how much people do love these
Right.
heroes. Let's get this shit back on the app, man. Let's like have people have a reason to come to HBO Max, which is getting rebranded in a month again. Back to that,
Mhm.
and not just Game of Thrones, not just Last of Us, not just whatever big movie is going to be on there. No, let's have them come back. Like, hey, while you're here, do you ever hear about the Tomorrowverse? Well, you can watch it right here if you like Superman
Mhm.
79. It's just something like that. I need something to keep coming to these apps,
Yeah.
and I think streaming was supposed to be that frontier, right? Where we can do more
Right.
now. That was we were sold that with DC Universe app. Oh, we're gonna have
Uh-huh.
Young Justice and we're gonna have Titans, a gritty for whatever reason at the time, R-rated version of the Teen Titans. We're gonna do all this stuff. And it's like, all right, well,
Shout
DC,
out to
you know,
God, what's their name?
Doom Patrol.
the deaf actor in Titans.
Oh, who plays Jericho?
Yeah,
Fuck.
I know their name. Anyways, that
Yes.
was a complete derail.
Yeah, yeah. It was like, okay, so like that was like an experiment that we could all tell the writing on the walls and like, I don't know if this is gonna really work out. And then it's like, why don't you just put them on HBO Max? And it's like, hey, we did. It's like, cool, everything's on HBO Max. One place to find it all. This is perfect. It's like
Yeah,
now nothing's on there. Fuck you.
yeah.
So frustrating. It's very frustrating. But that's my little tangent about this. But this universe, I think, to wrap it all up and kind of go back to my topic, because I went on a long ass rant about streaming and rights and everything like that. I think this kind of paved the way to what we have now, and I hope that a lot of the lessons learned
Mm-hmm.
on a corporate level continue. It's hard. Again, that's why I went on this tangent. It's hard to see when you have someone like David Zasloff in power.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care. You can tell he doesn't care. He's down for the bottom line.
Absolutely.
Is Apocalypse War making the money
He's
while
not
having
even
it?
down for the company's bottom line. He's down for his bottom line.
Exactly, because he's going to peace out as soon as
Yeah,
possible.
absolutely.
The writing's on the wall. There's already been rumors from Bloomberg and everything like that. Like the second he can sell this motherfucker off, he will. And that's
Mm-hmm.
so many years of DC content, comic books, movies, video games, animation, and television that he's just willing to
Mm-hmm.
throw away because
Yeah.
of financial gain. There is over 50 years of, classic animation in Looney Tunes just gonna be tossed to somebody for some
Mm-hmm.
reason. Is so fucking frustrating when it comes to these things, like these very
Yeah.
niche products that we love and we get to talk about, we get to like rave about in like these settings. Um and I don't know what the future holds. I know what our future holds, and that's the Tomorrowverse very soon.
Yeah.
But
Before we get to that,
yes, we have a couple of bonus
you
episodes.
all don't actually have homework next week.
Yeah, I do.
Unless I haven't floated this by you. Do you want to drop the Google Drive link in the show notes of this episode so people can read along?
Ooh, yeah,
That is an option.
yeah. We'll make
Okay.
it public.
Okay, so you all do have homework. I'm making Carlos, and by proxy, you, the audience, read copious amounts of
Yeah.
DC, specifically Batman fan fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
great.
It's gonna be
We're hitting all the
okay.
tropes, wide range of genres. I tried to give you a little taste of everything that I consider iconic, like fandom, fan fiction tropes in this DC space. And I'm really excited for you to explore it and witness the beauty of fan fiction.
Yeah, this is my first ever time going into the fan fiction world. So it's gonna
Mhm.
be very interesting.
I think it's all T for teen. I kept it very clean for you.
Yeah.
It's not gonna get wild. I'm not making you read that London/Jack the Ripper explicit fan fiction that I found out a couple weeks
It's
back.
fine. I also found one recently when I shared with you guys
Mhm.
who Frank's also in the channel a lot of times that Supergirl once dated her horse Comet,
Mhm.
who was turned to
Yeah.
human. That's canon. That's not
Yeah.
that's not fan fiction. But there is fan fiction about their love triangle with Mon-El. And
Correct.
some of them are explicit apparently. And I didn't like that. I didn't like seeing
Uh-huh.
the fact that they were explicit and the
You
fact,
asked. I
yeah.
did not send that to you unsolicited. You
No,
specifically asked me to find that.
yeah, I posed the question myself at work, and I was like, I wonder how
Uh-huh.
many fanfics there are about this, because there certainly can't be
Uh-huh.
any, and there's quite a few.
17
Yeah,
at
and
least.
I think the one person's name is very like horse centric as well, and I was like, you want to fuck a horse, don't you?
Mm,
And it shows.
mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's not all what fan fiction is, but I get to jump into the world of fan fiction. There might be a little break in between this episode and then, just because I'm a slow reader,
Yes.
but We will
We'll
keep you
get
guys
there.
informed. Also, a break doesn't sound horrible since we've been going at this insanely.
Keep
What?
it
My cat.
going for a year.
I know.
We might take a couple weeks off. It's
Yeah,
okay. We'll
it's
be
okay.
back. We
And then,
have 2 more entire seasons to get through.
yep,
And new things are being announced all the time. So
exactly. This show ain't going anywhere. It's just going to take maybe a little
correct.
bit of a break while I read.
Mhm.
But till next time. Again, we'll post that link. Maybe we can put it on socials as well, just to get everyone
Okay.
prepared. So you guys can follow along with my journey. And
Mhm.
we're also planning on one more other bonus episode in between. I don't know if I'm going to do it this season or in between the next two, like between
I only had
Tomorrowverse and
one
the
in
final.
between Tomorrowverse. We have a
So
couple slated for between Tomorrowverse and Elseworld.
okay, yeah. So I'll wait then. I'll wait then too. That's
Mhm.
good. That's good. Again, because if I start another anime, she's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
I'm as equally
No,
afraid.
that one is specifically slated for after Tomorrowverse. It's
I
already
lo-
on the schedule.
we all know again, canon. I love strong women. As friends,
Uh-huh.
my wife's strong woman,
Correct.
my sister's
Uh-huh.
strong. Like I'm just surrounded by strong women my whole life. But they also are
Uh-huh.
scary. They're very scary. Um, so
And I love that for you.
yeah, I'm always on the edge of my seat just in case, you know. But yeah,
As
so
you
next
should be.
episode, fan fiction Apokolips, as we go through a bunch of them. Again, links will be down below this episode. We'll post them on socials as well, so you guys can follow along. And then before we head out, Sly, where can people find you?
You can find me live on TikTok at CycloneMC every Sunday around 2 p.m. Pacific, chatting with JJ about
We love
lots of
JJ.
fan fiction and fandom and the state of network television. And you will see JJ a lot in the upcoming seasons.
Yep,
And it's going to be great. Friend of the show.
we
And
love
I
JJ.
also, speaking of friend of the show, do need to cold email somebody about podcasting that I'm now remembering live. And so hopefully you'll have an update about that soon.
We will see. But for me, you can find me here, youtube.com/point of progress for video watchers. For audio, I always say, well, if you're watching video, go to your favorite audio podcast of choice. Like, share, subscribe to this podcast, NMC University, and all our other shows on there. If you are listening, go to youtube.com/point of progress. Like, share, subscribe, do all that jazz over there. You can find me here as well doing our It's Not a Loop series. Again, I'm gearing up to start that. It's Not a Loop, it's Control, where I'm going to be playing Control for the first time in the Remedyverse. Is my whole, again, the whole point of the series. I'm playing the Remedyverse for the first time. We did season 1, which was Alan Wake American Nightmare after remaster. And then season 2 was Quantum Break. So now we're going to go into the oldest house and check out Control, which everyone has been raving about and wanting me to play. So I can't wait to jump into it. And then as well, you can find me doing personal stuff at youtube.com/dirty day. I forgot. It's been so long, I already forgot. Where you can see me talking about video games and other like short form content over there as I ramp that up. And yeah, till next time, class
Yeah.
is dismissed.
Bye.